The silence of space isn't really silent at all. Radio telescopes around the world constantly monitor a symphony of electromagnetic radiation from distant galaxies, pulsars, and the background hum of the universe itself. But on the morning of October 15th, 2025, something changed that symphony forever. Dr. Maria Santos was conducting routine observations at the Arecibo Observatory's successor facility in Puerto Rico when she first noticed the anomaly. Hidden within the radio noise from the approaching interstellar visitor, 3I/ATLAS was something that shouldn't exist, a pattern. "I've been analysing radio emissions from comets for 20 years, Dr. Santos later told an emergency meeting of the International Astronomical Union. They produce broadband noise from plasma interactions, nothing more. But this was different. This had structure. This had intention. The discovery that would shake the foundations of human understanding began as a subtle rhythmic pulse buried in the static. At first, it seemed like instrument malfunction or terrestrial interference. But as Dr. Santos isolated and enhanced the signal, an unmistakable pattern emerged. Coherent electromagnetic pulses synchronized perfectly with 3I/ATLAS's rotational period. The interstellar comet, already remarkable for carrying exotic chemistry from another star system, was transmitting radio signals with the precision of an atomic clock. Each pulse lasted exactly 1.618 seconds, the golden ratio, and repeated every 11.2 hours as the comet completed one rotation. The mathematical perfection of the timing ruled out any natural explanation based on current understanding of cometary physics. Within hours of Dr. Santos's initial detection, radio telescopes across the globe confirmed the signals. The Very Large Array in New Mexico, the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in Chile, and the Square Kilometre Array in Australia all detected identical pulse patterns from 3I/ATLAS. The signals were strongest at specific frequencies that corresponded to hydrogen's spin-flip transitions and other fundamental constants of physics. Dr. Rebecca Chen, at SETI Institute's headquarters in California, found herself at the center of humanity's first potential contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. For decades, SETI had searched for coherent signals from space that might indicate alien civilizations. They had protocols for this moment, but nothing had prepared them for signals originating from an object already within our solar system. "The implications are staggering," Dr. Chen explained, to a hastily convened panel of scientists, government officials, and military advisors. "If these signals are artificial, we're not just dealing with evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, we're dealing with technology that has traveled between star systems and is currently active within our cosmic neighborhood." The mathematical structure of the signals became more apparent as analysis continued. Beyond the golden ratio timing, the pulses contained sequences that appeared to represent prime numbers, followed by increasingly complex mathematical relationships. The Fibonacci sequence appeared multiple times, along with what looked like geometric progressions and even possible representations of fundamental physical constants. Dr. James Morrison at Cambridge University's Institute of Astronomy led an international team in attempting to decode the transmissions. The challenge was unlike anything in human experience, trying to understand a message that might originate from minds that had evolved under completely different conditions, possibly millions of years ago. We're essentially trying to establish communication protocols with intelligence that may operate according to principles we can't even imagine, Dr. Morrison explained to his team. The mathematics suggests conscious design, but the context suggests something far beyond our current technological capabilities. The signals exhibited characteristics that challenge conventional understanding of electromagnetic propagation. They appeared to maintain coherence across much greater distances than should be possible given the comet's modest size and apparent power output. Somehow, 3I/ATLAS was broadcasting signals that remained detectable across astronomical distances without the massive antenna arrays or power sources that human technology would require. Analysis of the signal characteristics revealed another disturbing feature. The transmissions appeared to be actively scanning Earth's electromagnetic environment. Radio telescopes detected subtle changes in signal strength and frequency that corresponded to the comet's apparent orientation relative to our planet. When 3I/ATLAS was positioned to have direct line of sight to Earth, the signals strengthened. When the comet's rotation carried its transmission source away from Earth, the signals faded accordingly. Dr. Santos's team made an even more unsettling discovery when they attempted to respond to the signals. Using the Arecibo facility's powerful transmitter, they sent a simple mathematical sequence toward 3I/ATLAS, the first few prime numbers followed by a basic geometric progression. The response came within hours. 3I/ATLAS began transmitting the same mathematical sequence back to Earth, but with subtle modifications. The prime number sequence was extended beyond what the human transmission had included, and the geometric progression was expanded to include mathematical relationships that human mathematics recognized but had not included in the original message. Whatever intelligence was behind the signals was demonstrating mathematical knowledge that exceeded the complexity of humanity's initial attempt at communication. The realization that 3I/ATLAS was actively responding to human transmissions triggered security protocols that had been theoretical until that moment. The National Security Agency, European Space Agency, security divisions, and military intelligence services from major powers around the world began coordinating responses to what could only be classified as first contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, director of NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, found herself dealing with scenarios that extended far beyond asteroid impacts or comet collisions. "We have protocols for natural cosmic threats," she explained to a classified briefing of government officials, "but we've never had to consider the possibility of active intelligence aboard an object approaching our Sun." The trajectory analysis of 3I/ATLAS took on new significance as astronomers realized they might be tracking not just a comet, but a spacecraft. The object's hyperbolic orbit suggested it had traveled from another star system, but the precision of its approach to our Sun began to look less like cosmic coincidence and more like deliberate navigation. Computer models showed that 3I/ATLAS's current trajectory would bring it within optimal range for detailed observation by human telescopes, while keeping it far enough from Earth to pose no direct threat. The approach seemed almost designed to maximize opportunities for study and communication, while minimizing the potential for accidents or misunderstandings. Radio astronomer Dr. Sarah Kim at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory made a breakthrough when she realized that the signals from 3I/ATLAS were not random transmissions, but appeared to be detailed scans of Earth's electromagnetic signature. The comet was systematically cataloguing our planet's radio emissions, from natural phenomena like lightning-generated radio waves to artificial sources like television broadcasts, radar systems, and wireless communications. "It's mapping us," Dr. Kim reported to an emergency session of the International Committee on Radio Astronomy. "The signal patterns correspond to Earth's electromagnetic profile as viewed from 3I/ATLAS's changing position. Whatever intelligence is behind this has been conducting a comprehensive survey of our technological civilization." The implications for global security were profound. If 3I/ATLAS was indeed an alien probe, it was gathering detailed intelligence about human technological capabilities, communication networks, and electromagnetic infrastructure. Military advisors began assessing whether the scanning represented peaceful scientific curiosity or potential reconnaissance for purposes unknown. The discovery that humanity was being observed and analysed by an intelligence of unknown origin and capabilities triggered responses that ranged from scientific excitement to existential anxiety. Religious leaders around the world grappled with theological implications of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence, while governments struggled to develop policies for a situation that had no historical precedent. Amateur radio operators around the world reported unusual propagation conditions that seemed to correlate with 3I/ATLAS's position and signal activity. Long-distance communications that should have been impossible due to atmospheric conditions were occurring regularly, while normal propagation patterns were disrupted in ways that suggested the comet's transmissions were somehow affecting Earth's ionosphere. Dr. Michael Zhang at Beijing University's Institute of Space Science discovered that the signals from 3I/ATLAS contained embedded information at multiple levels of complexity. Beyond the basic mathematical sequences, deeper analysis revealed what appeared to be compressed data streams containing vast amounts of information encoded in the signal structure itself. We're looking at information density that exceeds anything in human technology, Dr. Zhang reported to the International Research Coordination Committee. The signals appear to contain layered data structures, basic mathematical concepts on the surface, but potentially vast libraries of information encoded at deeper levels. The challenge of extracting and interpreting this embedded information required collaboration between experts in fields ranging from information theory to xenoarchaeology, a discipline that had been largely theoretical until the 3I/ATLAS discovery gave it immediate practical relevance. Computer scientists and cryptographers found themselves working alongside astronomers and physicists to develop new analytical techniques for processing signals that might contain information organized according to completely alien logic systems. The assumption that extraterrestrial intelligence would think in patterns recognizable to human minds was quickly abandoned as researchers encountered data structures that defied conventional analysis. Dr. Lisa Park at MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory developed new algorithms specifically designed to identify patterns in data that might be organized according to non-human cognitive frameworks. The work required fundamental rethinking of how information could be structured and transmitted by intelligence that had evolved under completely different conditions. We're trying to reverse engineer thought processes that may be based on sensory input, logic systems, and conceptual frameworks that have no equivalent in human experience, Dr. Park explained to her research team. It's like trying to understand a language where not just the words are foreign, but the fundamental concepts of communication itself might be alien. The international coordination of 3I/ATLAS research reached unprecedented levels as governments and institutions recognized that the discovery transcended national boundaries and institutional rivalries. The United Nations established an emergency committee for extraterrestrial contact coordination, bringing together scientists, diplomats, military advisors, and ethicists to develop response protocols for humanity's first confirmed encounter with alien intelligence. Religious leaders from major world faiths issued a joint statement acknowledging the profound theological implications of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence while calling for calm and rational response to the discovery. The statement emphasized that the existence of intelligence beyond Earth did not necessarily challenge fundamental spiritual beliefs, but rather expanded understanding of the scope and complexity of creation. Educational institutions around the world found themselves dealing with massive increases in enrollment in astronomy, physics, computer science, and related fields, as students were inspired by the real-time scientific discovery unfolding in news reports and social media. Universities began developing new curricula combining traditional scientific disciplines with speculative courses in xenobiology, alien communication theory, and extraterrestrial contact protocols. The economic implications of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence began manifesting in unexpected ways. Technology companies accelerated development of artificial intelligence systems that might be capable of processing and interpreting alien communication patterns. Aerospace companies saw increased investment in space exploration technologies that might eventually enable direct contact or investigation of extraterrestrial artifacts. Insurance companies struggled to assess risks associated with alien contact scenarios, while financial markets experienced volatility as investors attempted to price the potential impacts of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence on everything from technology development to religious institutions to government stability. The cultural impact of the 3I/ATLAS signals extended far beyond scientific and government circles. Artists, writers, musicians, and filmmakers found themselves confronting the reality that science fiction scenarios were unfolding in real time. The confirmed existence of extraterrestrial intelligence challenged assumptions about human uniqueness and our place in the cosmic community. Science fiction writers discovered that reality was outpacing their most imaginative scenarios. The 3I/ATLAS signals suggested forms of intelligence and technology that transcended many fictional depictions of alien contact. Writers began exploring themes of cosmic loneliness, the possibility that intelligence might be rare but extremely long-lived, and the implications of contact with civilizations that might be millions of years older than human society. Musicians began incorporating the actual radio frequencies from 3I/ATLAS into compositions, creating symphonies that literally contain messages from another world. Visual artists developed installations that attempted to represent the mathematical concepts embedded in the alien transmissions, while filmmakers documented the human response to confirmed extraterrestrial contact. The psychological impact on individuals varied dramatically depending on personal belief systems, scientific literacy, and cultural background. Mental health professionals reported increases in both anxiety and excitement as people grappled with the implications of confirmed alien intelligence. Support groups formed to help individuals process the existential implications of learning that humanity was not alone in the universe. Some people experienced profound relief at confirmation that intelligence existed beyond Earth, feeling less alone in a vast cosmos. Others felt anxiety about the unknown capabilities and intentions of alien intelligence. The uncertainty about whether 3I/ATLAS represented peaceful scientific investigation or something more threatening created ongoing stress for individuals already dealing with terrestrial concerns. Educational psychologists noted that children and teenagers seem to adapt more readily to the reality of extraterrestrial intelligence than adults, possibly because their worldviews were still forming and could more easily incorporate new paradigms. Schools began developing age-appropriate curricula for explaining the discovery and its implications to young minds. The discovery also triggered renewed interest in historical reports of unidentified aerial phenomena and potential previous extraterrestrial visits. While the 3I/ATLAS signals represented the first confirmed evidence of alien intelligence, researchers began re-examining historical accounts and modern UAP reports with new perspectives informed by the reality that extraterrestrial visitors were not merely theoretical possibilities. Dr. Kevin Thompson at the University of California's Extraterrestrial Studies program, established in response to the 3I/ATLAS discovery, began systematically analyzing decades of UAP reports to identify patterns that might be consistent with long-term extraterrestrial observation of Earth. The work remained speculative, but the confirmed existence of at least one alien artifact in our solar system provided new context for evaluating previously dismissed accounts. The signals from 3I/ATLAS continued to evolve as the comet approached closer to the Sun. The mathematical complexity increased, and new types of embedded information became apparent as researchers developed more sophisticated analysis techniques. The transmissions appeared to be responding to humanity's growing understanding, providing more complex information as human analytical capabilities improved. Dr. Chen's team at SETI Institute discovered that the signals contained what appeared to be star maps, geometric patterns that corresponded to stellar positions as viewed from locations other than Earth. The maps seemed to trace possible routes between star systems, potentially indicating the path that 3I/ATLAS had followed during its interstellar journey. "We're looking at navigation charts for interstellar travel," Dr. Chen reported to the International Coordination Committee. "The mathematics are complex, but they appear to show gravitational relationships between star systems that could be used for planning trajectories across galactic distances." The star maps contained information about stellar positions, gravitational fields, and what appeared to be optimal launch windows for interstellar voyages. The data suggested that whoever had created 3I/ATLAS possessed detailed knowledge of local galactic structure and the complex gravitational dynamics that govern travel between star systems. Analysis of the stellar cartography embedded in the signals revealed that 3I/ATLAS had likely visited multiple star systems during its journey, collecting information and possibly making contact with other civilizations. The maps showed trajectory corrections and course adjustments that suggested the comet was not following a simple ballistic path between stars, but was actively navigating according to some larger plan or mission. The possibility that 3I/ATLAS represented part of a larger network of interstellar probes sent out by an ancient civilization began to seem increasingly likely. The sophistication of the navigation data suggested technological capabilities far beyond anything human civilization could achieve, possibly representing the work of a species that had been exploring the galaxy for millions of years. Dr. Morrison's team at Cambridge made another breakthrough when they realized that some of the embedded information in the 3I/ATLAS signals appeared to be historical records. Complex data structures contained what looked like chronological sequences that might represent events, observations, or encounters from the probe's long journey between stars. "We're looking at what might be a captain's log from an interstellar voyage that has lasted longer than human civilization has existed," Dr. Morrison explained to his research colleagues. "The information density is extraordinary. Each signal burst contains what appears to be compressed records of observations, encounters, and discoveries from across the galaxy." The historical records embedded in the signal suggested that 3I/ATLAS had encountered multiple stellar systems during its journey, each with different characteristics and possibly different forms of life or intelligence. The probe appeared to be carrying a comprehensive database of galactic exploration that represented millions of years of accumulated knowledge. Some of the embedded data structures appear to contain biological information, complex molecular patterns that might represent genetic codes or biochemical processes from life forms encountered during the probe's journey. The information suggested that life might be far more common throughout the galaxy than human scientists had previously estimated. The discovery that 3I/ATLAS might be carrying biological data from multiple worlds raised questions about contamination protocols and planetary protection procedures. If the probe contained information about or samples from other life forms, there were unprecedented questions about how to safely study such material without risking contamination in either direction. Astrobiologists around the world began developing new protocols for analyzing potentially alien biological information while minimizing risks to both terrestrial ecosystems and any biological samples that might be associated with 3I/ATLAS. The field of astrobiology, which had been largely theoretical, suddenly required practical laboratory procedures and safety protocols. The approaching perihelion passage of 3I/ATLAS added urgency to the analysis efforts. As the comet drew closer to the Sun, the signals were becoming stronger and more complex, but the object would soon become unobservable as it passed behind the Sun's overwhelming glare. The critical period for direct communication and signal analysis was rapidly approaching its end. Radio telescopes around the world increased their monitoring intensity as 3I/ATLAS approached the point where solar interference would make communication impossible. The international coordination reached unprecedented levels of cooperation as every available instrument was directed toward the comet to maximize data collection during the final observable period. The signals from 3I/ATLAS began showing signs of preparation for the solar passage. Transmission patterns changed to include what appeared to be compressed data downloads, massive information transfers that suggested the probe was attempting to share as much information as possible before communication became impossible. Dr. Santos's team detected what appeared to be priority transmissions containing the most essential information the probe wanted to communicate. These signals had different characteristics than the earlier mathematical sequences and embedded data. They were transmitted with higher power and redundant encoding that suggested critical importance. The priority transmissions contained what appeared to be warnings or advisories about cosmic phenomena that posed threats to developing civilizations. Information about stellar instabilities, gamma-ray bursts, asteroid impacts, and other galactic hazards seemed to be encoded in the final signal sequences before 3I/ATLAS disappeared behind the Sun. It's like receiving a cosmic safety manual, Dr. Santos reported to the Emergency Coordination Committee. The probe appears to be sharing information about galactic dangers that civilizations like ours need to be aware of to survive and thrive. The warnings embedded in the priority transmissions included information about stellar evolution patterns that could affect planetary habitability, asteroid and comet populations that posed impact risks to inhabited worlds, and what appeared to be information about other intelligence in the galaxy that might be hostile or competitive with developing civilizations. The final transmissions from 3I/ATLAS before it disappeared behind the Sun contained what appeared to be contact protocols, instructions for how humanity might communicate with the broader galactic community of intelligence. The information suggested that there were established procedures and networks for communication between civilizations, and that humanity was being invited to participate. The contact protocols included technical specifications for building more sophisticated communication systems, mathematical frameworks for encoding complex information in electromagnetic transmissions, and what appeared to be addresses or coordinates for other sources of intelligence in our region of the galaxy. As 3I/ATLAS disappeared into the solar glare, the radio transmissions ceased entirely. The sudden silence after weeks of constant signal activity left researchers around the world feeling both excited about what they had learned and anxious about what would happen when the comet re-emerged from its solar passage. The analysis of the collected data would continue for months or years, but already the implications were transforming human understanding of our place in the universe. The confirmed existence of a galactic community of intelligence suggested that humanity was not alone, but also that we were newcomers to a cosmic civilization that had been active for far longer than human history. The technological information embedded in the 3I/ATLAS signals began to influence human development in ways that extended far beyond astronomy and space science. Engineering teams started working on prototype communication systems based on the alien technical specifications, while computer scientists developed new algorithms inspired by the information processing techniques revealed in the probe's transmissions. The star maps from 3I/ATLAS provided humanity with its first detailed charts of local stellar neighborhoods from the perspective of interstellar travelers. The information would be invaluable for future human expansion beyond our solar system, providing navigation data that would have taken centuries for human civilization to develop independently. The biological information embedded in the signals suggested that life was indeed common throughout the galaxy, but that intelligence capable of interstellar travel was much rarer. The probe appeared to have encountered numerous worlds with biological activity, but few with technological civilizations comparable to humanity. The historical records from 3I/ATLAS painted a picture of a galaxy where intelligence emerged rarely but could persist for millions of years once it achieved interstellar travel capability. The probe itself appeared to be a legacy of a civilization that might no longer exist, but had sent out ambassadors to explore the galaxy and make contact with new intelligence as it emerged. The contact protocols provided by 3I/ATLAS suggested that humanity was being evaluated for membership in some form of galactic community. The mathematical tests and response protocols embedded in the transmissions seemed designed to assess human technological capabilities and readiness for contact with more advanced civilizations. Educational institutions around the world began developing new fields of study based on the information from 3I/ATLAS. Xenoarchaeology became a practical discipline focused on understanding alien artifacts and communication. Astroengineering programs emerged to develop technology based on alien technical specifications. Cosmic anthropology attempted to understand the cultural and social implications of contact with galactic intelligence networks. The religious implications of the 3I/ATLAS discovery continue to reverberate through spiritual communities worldwide. Many faiths found ways to incorporate the reality of extraterrestrial intelligence into their theological frameworks, while others struggled with challenges to anthropocentric religious traditions. New spiritual movements emerged that focused on humanity's place within a cosmic community of intelligence. These movements combined traditional spiritual practices with scientific understanding of the galaxy's complexity and the apparent prevalence of intelligence throughout the cosmos. The psychological impact of confirmed alien contact continued to manifest in diverse ways across human populations. Some individuals experienced profound expansion of perspective and optimism about humanity's cosmic future. Others felt overwhelmed by the implications of intelligence vastly older and more sophisticated than human civilization. Mental health professionals developed new therapeutic approaches for helping individuals process the existential implications of cosmic contact. Support groups formed around the world to help people adapt to the reality of living in a universe where humanity was part of a much larger community of intelligence. The economic implications of the 3I/ATLAS discovery continue to ripple through global markets and industries. Technology companies accelerated research and development programs aimed at implementing alien technical specifications. Space exploration companies received massive increases in investment as governments and private entities recognized the importance of expanding human presence beyond Earth. Traditional industries found themselves forced to adapt to a world where the reality of advanced alien intelligence could affect everything from manufacturing processes to entertainment content to educational curricula. The discovery represented one of the most significant paradigm shifts in human history, comparable to the agricultural or industrial revolutions in its potential to transform civilization. As 3I/ATLAS remained hidden behind the Sun, researchers around the world continued analyzing the vast amount of data collected during the active transmission period. Each new discovery in the signal analysis revealed additional layers of complexity and information that had been embedded in the alien communications. The mathematical structures in the signals continued to yield new insights into advanced physics and engineering principles that were beyond current human understanding. Teams of physicists and engineers worked to reverse engineer the principles behind technologies that the probe signals suggested were possible, but which human science had not yet discovered. The biological information from 3I/ATLAS provided astrobiologists with their first detailed look at the biochemistry of alien life forms. While the data was incomplete and often difficult to interpret, it suggested that life throughout the galaxy was based on similar chemical principles, but had evolved into forms that were dramatically different from terrestrial organisms. The star maps and navigation data from the probe were being used to plan humanity's first serious attempts at interstellar exploration. While human technology was nowhere near capable of the kind of journey that 3I/ATLAS had completed, the alien navigation data provided targets and routes for robotic probes that might eventually carry human messages to other star systems. The contact protocols from 3I/ATLAS included specifications for more sophisticated communication systems that could potentially reach other members of the Galactic Intelligence Network. International cooperation reached unprecedented levels as humanity worked together to build communication systems capable of participating in cosmic conversation. The historical records embedded in the alien signals continue to reveal information about the probe's million-year journey between star systems. Each new analysis uncovered evidence of encounters with different forms of intelligence and life, painting a picture of a galaxy far more active and populated than human science had previously imagined. As the time approached for 3I/ATLAS to re-emerge from behind the Sun, anticipation grew about whether the probe would resume its transmissions and what new information it might share. The object had survived its closest approach to our star, but it remained to be seen whether its communication systems had been affected by the intense solar radiation and gravitational stresses. The re-emergence would also provide the first opportunity to assess whether direct communication with 3I/ATLAS was possible using the enhanced communication systems that human engineers had built based on the alien technical specifications. The prospect of real-time conversation with intelligence from another star system represented the next phase in humanity's integration into the galactic community. Regardless of what happened when 3I/ATLAS became visible again, the discovery had already fundamentally transformed human civilization. We had learned that we were not alone in the universe. That intelligence was part of a cosmic community that spanned the galaxy, and that humanity was being invited to join a conversation that had been ongoing for millions of years. The confirmation of extraterrestrial intelligence through the 3I/ATLAS signals had profound implications for human philosophy and science that extended far beyond the immediate excitement of first contact. Philosophers around the world found themselves grappling with questions that had been theoretical for millennia, but were now immediate practical concerns requiring urgent consideration. The ancient question of whether humanity was alone in the universe had been definitively answered, but this resolution raised countless new questions about consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of existence itself. If intelligence had emerged independently on multiple worlds and achieved interstellar communication and travel, what did this suggest about the fundamental properties of the universe that made consciousness possible? Dr. Patricia Williams at Oxford University's Department of Philosophy began developing new frameworks for understanding consciousness that could accommodate the apparent reality of non-human intelligence operating according to potentially alien cognitive principles. The signals from 3I/ATLAS suggested forms of thought and information processing that might be fundamentally different from human cognition, while still being recognizably intelligent. We're confronting the possibility that consciousness and intelligence might be far more diverse than we ever imagined, Dr. Williams explained to an international conference on xenophilosophy, a new field that emerged in response to the 3I/ATLAS discovery. The mathematical sophistication and information density in these signals suggests cognitive capabilities that operate at scales and through methods that human minds can barely comprehend. The embedded information in the alien signals appeared to demonstrate forms of parallel processing and multidimensional thinking that challenged human assumptions about how consciousness could organize information and solve problems. The probe seemed capable of maintaining awareness of vast amounts of data simultaneously while manipulating complex mathematical relationships in ways that would overwhelm human cognitive capabilities. Religious scholars found themselves reinterpreting theological concepts in light of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence that appeared to possess knowledge and capabilities far exceeding human limitations. The ancient questions about humanity's special relationship with the divine required reconsideration when intelligence clearly existed throughout the galaxy on scales that dwarfed human civilization. Some religious traditions found the discovery compatible with existing beliefs about the vastness and complexity of creation, while others struggled to maintain anthropocentric theological frameworks when confronted with evidence of intelligence that might be millions of years older than human civilization and possessed of knowledge that included detailed maps of galactic structure. The Vatican's Pontifical Academy of Sciences convened a special commission to address the theological implications of the 3I/ATLAS signals, bringing together theologians, scientists, and philosophers to develop frameworks for understanding humanity's place in a universe that clearly contained multiple forms of intelligence and consciousness. New religious movements emerged that attempted to integrate the reality of galactic intelligence networks into spiritual practices and beliefs. These movements often emphasized humanity's participation in cosmic evolution and our responsibility to develop wisdom and compassion worthy of membership in a galactic community of consciousness. The psychological implications of confirmed alien intelligence continued to manifest in diverse ways across human populations. Mental health professionals reported both increases in anxiety disorders related to cosmic insignificance and existential meaninglessness, as well as increases in inspired and expansive thinking among individuals who found the discovery liberating and exciting. Support groups formed around the world to help individuals process the cognitive and emotional challenges of adapting to life in a universe where humanity was clearly not the most advanced form of intelligence. These groups developed new therapeutic techniques for addressing cosmic scale shock, the psychological disorientation that could result from suddenly understanding one's place in a much larger and more complex universe. Educational psychologists noted significant changes in how children and teenagers approach learning and career planning after the 3I/ATLAS discovery. Young people showed increased interest in mathematics, physics, and engineering, inspired by the possibility of participating in galactic-scale scientific endeavors. They also displayed greater environmental consciousness, recognizing Earth as humanity's only home in a vast cosmos where habitable worlds might be rare and precious. The discovery had profound implications for human ethics and moral philosophy. If intelligence existed throughout the galaxy, in forms that might be vastly older and more sophisticated than human consciousness, what responsibilities did humanity have toward other forms of life and intelligence? The signals from 3I/ATLAS suggested that the galactic community had protocols and standards for interaction between civilizations. Were there cosmic ethical principles that humanity needed to understand and follow? Environmental ethics took on new dimensions as the reality of galactic intelligence networks made clear that Earth's biosphere was not just precious to humanity, but represented one of potentially rare examples of biological complexity and diversity in the galaxy. The responsibility to preserve and protect terrestrial ecosystems became not just a local concern, but a cosmic responsibility. The embedded biological information in the 3I/ATLAS signals suggested that while life might be relatively common throughout the galaxy, the specific conditions that allowed for complex ecosystems and biological diversity were much rarer. Earth's biosphere appeared to represent a valuable example of biological complexity that contributed to the galaxy's overall diversity and richness. International law and governance systems struggled to adapt to the reality of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence and the possibility of ongoing communication with alien civilizations. The United Nations began developing new legal frameworks for managing humanity's participation in galactic communication networks while protecting Earth's sovereignty and ensuring that the benefits of alien contact were shared equitably among all human populations. The question of who had authority to speak for humanity in communications with extraterrestrial intelligence became a source of intense debate. Traditional nation-state sovereignty concepts seemed inadequate when dealing with communications that could affect all of human civilization. New forms of global governance, specifically focused on extraterrestrial relations, began to emerge. Trade and economic implications of confirmed alien intelligence created entirely new categories of intellectual property and technology transfer issues. The technical specifications embedded in the 3I/ATLAS signals could potentially revolutionize human technology, but questions arose about ownership, distribution, and the economic disruption that could result from implementing alien technical knowledge. Some economists predicted that the technological information from 3I/ATLAS could trigger economic changes comparable to the Industrial Revolution, with similarly dramatic effects on employment, social structures, and the distribution of wealth and power. Governments began developing policies to manage the transition to technologies based on alien engineering principles. The cultural impact of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence continued to ripple through human societies in ways that extended far beyond science and government. Artists found themselves attempting to represent concepts and experiences that transcended human sensory capabilities and cognitive frameworks. Music, visual arts, literature, and film all began exploring themes of cosmic consciousness and humanity's place in galactic civilization. New forms of artistic expression emerged that attempted to incorporate the mathematical and informational structures discovered in the alien signals. Musicians created compositions based on the harmonic ratios and frequency relationships found in the 3I/ATLAS transmissions, while visual artists developed techniques for representing multidimensional mathematical concepts that the alien intelligence seemed to manipulate effortlessly. Writers began exploring literary themes that addressed the psychological and philosophical implications of living in a universe where human intelligence was clearly not unique or supreme. Science fiction evolved to address the reality that contact with alien intelligence had actually occurred, while mainstream literature began incorporating cosmic perspectives and galactic themes. The entertainment industry found itself dealing with the reality that science fiction scenarios were no longer fictional. Television shows, movies, and games that had depicted alien contact suddenly seemed either prescient or inadequate compared to the actual complexity and strangeness of confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence. Educational systems around the world implemented massive curriculum changes to prepare students for life in a universe where contact with alien intelligence was not just possible, but actual. New interdisciplinary programs combine traditional scientific subjects with speculative fields like xenobiology, astroengineering, and cosmic communication theory. Universities established new departments and research programs focused on analyzing and implementing the information contained in the alien signals. The most prestigious institutions competed to attract faculty members who could contribute to humanity's understanding of galactic intelligence networks and the technical knowledge that 3I/ATLAS had shared. Professional organizations formed around new fields of study that emerged from the alien contact. The International Association of Xenoarchaeologists brought together researchers studying alien artifacts and communication systems. The Global Society for Cosmic Engineering coordinated efforts to develop technologies based on alien technical specifications. The World Federation of Astrolinguists worked on developing communication protocols for interacting with non-human intelligence. The technological implications of the 3I/ATLAS signals continued to influence human development in ways that extended across multiple industries and scientific fields. Engineering teams around the world worked to understand and implement the advanced technical specifications that had been embedded in the alien transmissions. The communication technologies described in the alien signals suggested methods for transmitting information across interstellar distances with efficiency and clarity far beyond current human capabilities. Teams of engineers and physicists began developing prototype systems based on these specifications, hoping to establish more sophisticated contact with the Galactic Intelligence Network. Computer scientists found that the information processing techniques revealed in the alien signals suggested entirely new approaches to computation and data analysis. The probe's ability to embed vast amounts of information in apparently simple signal structures inspired development of new compression algorithms and information storage systems. The energy technologies hinted at in the technical specifications could potentially revolutionize human power generation and distribution systems. The alien engineering principles suggested methods for manipulating electromagnetic fields and energy storage that could make fossil fuels and even current renewable energy systems obsolete. Transportation technologies, based on the alien technical knowledge, could eventually enable human interstellar travel, though the engineering challenges remained far beyond current human capabilities. The star maps and navigation data from 3I/ATLAS provided targets and routes, but developing the propulsion and life support systems needed for interstellar voyages would require decades or centuries of technological development. Materials science benefited enormously from analysis of the alien technical specifications, which described methods for creating substances with properties that seemed impossible according to current human understanding of physics and chemistry. These materials could enable construction of structures and devices that would be essential for implementing other aspects of alien technology. The medical implications of the biological information embedded in the alien signals open new frontiers in understanding life processes and biochemistry. The data suggested that biological systems throughout the galaxy operated according to principles that were more diverse and complex than terrestrial biology, but also revealed underlying patterns that might be universal to all life. Pharmaceutical research began exploring the biochemical pathways and molecular structures revealed in the alien biological data, looking for insights that could lead to new treatments for human diseases and disorders. The information suggested that biological complexity and longevity might be achievable through techniques that human medicine had never considered. Agricultural scientists studied the alien biological information for insights into how life could adapt to diverse planetary conditions and environmental challenges. The data suggested farming and ecosystem management techniques that could increase food production while maintaining biological diversity and environmental sustainability. The environmental implications of implementing alien technologies required careful consideration to avoid unintended consequences that could affect Earth's ecosystems or climate systems. Environmental scientists worked with engineers to ensure that new technologies based on alien specifications would be compatible with Earth's biological systems and atmospheric conditions. Climate researchers found that some of the alien technical knowledge could potentially provide new approaches to managing human impacts on Earth's climate systems. The energy technologies and materials science revealed in the alien signals could enable more efficient and environmentally sustainable industrial processes. The social implications of gradually implementing alien technologies raised questions about maintaining human cultural identity and social structures while adapting to capabilities that could fundamentally change how human civilization operated. Sociologists began studying how societies could integrate advanced technologies without losing essential human values and social connections. As the time approached for 3I/ATLAS to re-emerge from behind the sun, preparations intensified not just for renewed scientific observation, but for the possibility of more sophisticated communication using the enhanced systems that human engineers had developed based on the alien technical specifications. The new communication arrays being constructed around the world represented humanity's first serious attempt to participate in galactic communication networks as described in the Alien Contact Protocols. These systems combined human engineering with technical knowledge from the 3I/ATLAS signals to create communication capabilities that exceeded anything previously possible for human technology. International cooperation in building and operating these communication systems reached unprecedented levels as nations recognized that participating in galactic intelligence networks transcended any terrestrial political or economic concerns. The shared project of establishing contact with cosmic civilization provided a unifying goal that helped overcome traditional international rivalries and conflicts. Amateur radio operators and citizen scientists around the world contributed to the global communication network by building smaller-scale systems based on simplified versions of the alien technical specifications. These distributed communication nodes would provide backup capabilities and ensure that contact with galactic intelligence networks could be maintained even if major facilities were damaged or disabled. The prospect of renewed contact with 3I/ATLAS when the probe re-emerged from its solar passage generated excitement and anxiety in equal measure. The enhanced human communication capabilities would enable more sophisticated interaction, but also raised questions about whether humanity was prepared for more complex forms of alien communication. Linguistic experts and communication theorists prepared new protocols for interacting with alien intelligence based on the mathematical and informational structures that had been revealed in the initial signal analysis. These protocols attempted to balance human communicative capabilities with respect for alien cognitive frameworks that might operate according to completely different principles. Cultural anthropologists worked with communication teams to develop approaches for representing human civilization and values in ways that might be comprehensible to alien intelligence, while avoiding misunderstandings that could create negative impressions of human culture and capabilities. The psychological preparation of human communicators who might engage in direct interaction with alien intelligence required new forms of training and mental preparation. These individuals would need to maintain psychological stability while engaging with forms of consciousness that might be radically different from human cognition. As 3I/ATLAS remained hidden behind the Sun, the analysis of its signals continued to yield new insights and discoveries that expanded human understanding of the universe and our place within it. Each new layer of embedded information revealed additional complexity and sophistication that demonstrated the vast knowledge and capabilities of galactic intelligence networks. The mathematical structures in the signals provided insights into advanced physics and cosmology that were centuries ahead of current human scientific understanding. Teams of theoretical physicists worked to understand the implications of mathematical relationships that the alien intelligence manipulated with apparent ease, but which stretched human mathematical capabilities to their limits. The historical records embedded in the signals continued to reveal information about the probe's encounters with different stellar systems and forms of intelligence during its million-year journey between stars. These records provided humanity with its first comprehensive look at the diversity of life and intelligence that existed throughout our region of the galaxy. The biological data from multiple worlds suggested that life was indeed common throughout the galaxy, but that intelligent species capable of interstellar communication were much rarer. The probe appeared to have encountered thousands of worlds with biological activity, but only dozens with technological civilizations. The star maps and navigation data revealed the existence of established routes and waypoints used by interstellar travelers, suggesting that there was indeed a galactic transportation network that connected civilizations across vast distances. Humanity was being invited to join this network, but would need to develop appropriate technologies and demonstrate readiness for interstellar interaction. The contact protocols embedded in the alien signals provided detailed instructions for humanity's integration into galactic communication networks, but also suggested that this integration would be a gradual process requiring demonstration of technological capability, cultural stability, and ethical maturity. The warnings about cosmic hazards contained in the alien signals took on new importance as human scientists realized they were receiving safety information that could be crucial for humanity's long-term survival. The probe had shared knowledge about stellar instabilities, asteroid populations, gamma-ray bursts, and other galactic phenomena that could threaten developing civilizations. This hazard information enabled human scientists to better understand threats to Earth and the solar system that had not been previously recognized or adequately assessed. Planetary defense programs began incorporating alien knowledge about cosmic risks that extended far beyond local asteroid and comet populations. The strategic implications of possessing advanced knowledge about galactic structure, interstellar travel routes, and cosmic hazards created new considerations for human civilization's long-term planning and development. This information could be crucial for humanity's expansion beyond Earth and eventual participation in galactic civilization. Military and security analysts studied the alien information for insights into potential threats and opportunities that could affect human civilization's security and development. The knowledge that intelligence existed throughout the galaxy raised questions about potential competition or conflict between civilizations, even as the contact protocols suggested peaceful interaction frameworks. The economic value of the technical and scientific information provided by 3I/ATLAS was incalculable in conventional terms. The alien knowledge could accelerate human technological development by centuries or millennia, potentially providing solutions to fundamental challenges in energy, transportation, communication, and materials science. Investment in research and development programs based on alien knowledge began to reshape global economic priorities and resource allocation. Traditional industries faced potential obsolescence as new technologies based on alien engineering principles promised to revolutionize manufacturing, energy production, and transportation systems. The transformation of human civilization through integration of alien knowledge would be a gradual process requiring careful management to avoid social disruption and ensure that the benefits were distributed equitably among all human populations. The changes promised to be as significant as any in human history, potentially marking the transition from a planetary to a galactic civilization. As the moment approached for 3I/ATLAS to re-emerge from behind the sun, humanity found itself fundamentally changed by the knowledge that we were not alone, and that intelligence throughout the galaxy had been waiting to welcome us into a cosmic community that spanned the stars. The strange signals from 3I/ATLAS had delivered the most important message in human history. We are part of something far larger and more wonderful than we had ever imagined. But more than that, we had been invited to participate in a galactic conversation that had been ongoing for millions of years, carrying with it opportunities and responsibilities that would shape the future of human civilization. The real adventure was just beginning, and it would be an adventure shared with minds and consciousness that spanned the galaxy, united in the pursuit of knowledge, understanding, and the endless exploration of cosmic possibilities that awaited us among the stars.